Hello, my dear beloved children. Today I want to remind you of the signs by which you can determine that your consciousness has already been finally established at the level of the fourth dimension. First, weakening of emotional attachment to loved ones and the disappearance of the feeling of control over them. All this does not mean that you have stopped loving them. It's just that your love has reached a completely different level. We have talked a lot about how love in the three-dimensional world differs from unconditional love, which is characteristic of the inhabitants of the higher worlds. In fact, the difference between them is huge. And first of all, it consists in the fact that in the worlds of high dimensions the law of free will is strictly observed. Of course, we are not talking about very young children who are still completely dependent on you, but about those who are already able to express themselves as individuals with their own vision of the world and creative preferences. What is the difference between raising children in a three-dimensional world and, for example, in the world of the fifth dimension? In the first, the priority is obedience and following generally established stereotypes of thinking and rules of behavior. If a child does not meet these parameters, he is subject to punishment by parents, caregivers, and teachers. This is how cogs are raised, who obediently turn the giant machine called consumer society. And a completely different approach to education exists in the world of the fifth dimension. There, the greatest value is placed on individuality, which they try to cherish and nurture from the earliest age, so that it is not lost, but serves the good of society. Upbringing and education in this world are built on completely different principles, without coercion and punishment, but first and foremost taking into account the interests of the child himself. Therefore, educators and teachers are highly respected members of society, because the development and prosperity of an entire civilization depends on them. And the places of educators are usually occupied by the most ancient and wise souls, who have something to share with others and who possess extraordinary patience and an unlimited supply of unconditional love. Thus, from early childhood, a person becomes self-sufficient and respected by both parents and everyone around him. And this is a completely different level of emotional attachment, which consists of showing respect for the personality of a person of any age and providing him with freedom in all its manifestations. And if you have even come close to such an attitude towards your family members, then we can say that in this regard your consciousness has already reached the level of the fourth dimension. That's where we'll stop today. The Father Absolute, who loves you immeasurably, spoke to you.